Hello, grade 4 students, and welcome to a new lesson. Today's lesson is from Module 4, Project 2. As for the objectives of the lesson, by the end of the lesson, you will be able to write a paragraph about your eating habits. Also, you will be able to revise structures from previous lessons. Please open your Students Book page 49, Workbook page 48. And now, let's recall yesterday's lesson together. In Student Book page 49, Activity 2. Yesterday we read the text together. What is the text about? It's about this girl, and it's about her eating habits and what she likes and dislikes. Let's go over some writing tips on how to write a paragraph related to eating habits. Let's refer to the text, follow with me, and read along. Egg, milk, vegetables, meat or fish, chicken, yogurt, fruit, sandwich, and cheese. The girl talked about the food she eats, and you are going to talk about the food you eat. You need to plan your paragraph. Before you start, you need to think of the things you are going to write about. You need to think of the food you eat. Now let's continue and read with me. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Whenever you want to write about your eating habits, you need to think about the food you eat in each meal. And try to write them down in a list and group them. Read with me the examples. I usually eat an egg for breakfast. I like vegetables and some meat or fish for lunch. I often have some yogurt and fruit or sandwich with cheese for dinner. Now read with me. Usually, never, often. What are these words? Now read the sentences with me. I usually eat an egg for breakfast. I often have some yogurt and fruit. We call these words adverbs of frequency. And they are always, never, usually, often, sometimes. Now, make sure when you write about habits, you use the present simple. And we use this tense to talk about actions that happen regularly, such as your eating habits. Now, let's practice and answer questions related to eating habits. Now read the question with me. What do you drink for breakfast? Look at the picture. We have milk and always. Remember, you are talking about yourself, so you would start with, read the sentence with me. I always drink milk for breakfast. Great job. Let's continue. What do you eat for breakfast? Look at the picture. Cereal, and the word is always. The answer would be, I always eat cereal for breakfast. Read along. What do you eat for lunch? Look at the picture. We have fish and often. You would say, I often eat fish for lunch. Read along. What do you eat for lunch? Look at the picture. We have steak. Sometimes. You would say, I sometimes eat steak for lunch. Great job. Let's continue. What do you eat for dinner? Look at the picture. We have salad and often. You would say, I often eat salad for dinner. Great job. Read the question with me. What do you eat for dinner? In the picture, we have fruits, and the word is usually. Think of the answer. It would be, I usually eat fruits for dinner. And now for the last writing tip. Read along. I don't like milk. I don't eat chicken. I love cheese. When you write, you need to write about what you like or don't like. You need to write your opinion. Let's move on and talk about what you like or dislike when it comes to food. Read the question with me, grade 4. What do you like or don't like to eat? I am going to show you pictures and you are going to answer accordingly. But you need to know one thing first. If there is a tick next to the picture, this means you like this food. And if there is an X next to the picture, it means you don't like it. Let's move on. Look at the first picture. We have eggs and there is a tick. So you would say, I like eggs. Great. Let's continue. There's an X. And chicken. What would you say? You would say, I don't like chicken. Great job. Let's move on. It's yogurt, and there's an X. So you would say, I don't like yogurt. Last, fruits, and there's a tick. The answer would be, I like fruits. Good job, grade 4. Now please open your workbook page 48, activity 2. It's practice time with Ahmed. Activity 2. What do you eat every day for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Look at Activity 1 above and the food pyramid. Activity 1 in the student's book on page 49 for IDs and complete. Now, I completed this table about Ahmed, what he eats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Read with me. For breakfast, he eats cake. Also, he drinks milk, and milk is from the milk group. Look at lunch. He eats broccoli. It's from the vegetables group. He eats potato. And he eats steak from the meats group. As for dinner, he eats yogurt and peach. Let's move on and continue. Now refer to workbook page 48, activity 3. We are going to help Ahmed write about his eating habits. Activity 3. Look at activity 2. Use the information to write a paragraph about your eating habits. Now we are going to help Ahmed write a paragraph about his eating habits, and we are going to refer to the table on top. Let's start. For breakfast, he says, I usually have. What does he eat for breakfast? Look over here at the table. Cake, milk. So he would say, I usually have cake and milk. Great. So he would say, I like milk. Great job. Let's continue. For lunch, I usually, look at the table again. Lunch. What does he eat? Broccoli, potato, steak. So he would say, for lunch, I usually have broccoli with potato and steak. Super. Now he eats broccoli with potato. So he must like vegetables. So he would say, I like vegetables. Super. Let's move on. For dinner, I eat. Look at the table. We have yogurt, peach. So he would say, for dinner, I eat some yogurt and peach. And he continues, fruits are good for your body. How about having more practice writing about Noor's eating habits? And now it's time to help Noor fill in Activity 3 and write about her eating habits. Make sure you refer to the table on top. Let's start. For breakfast, I usually have, look at the table. She eats butter, bread, egg. So she would say, I usually have butter with bread and an egg. So she must like eggs. So she would say, I like eggs. Great. Let's move on. For lunch, I usually, look at the table. Lunch, she eats carrot, rice, fish. So she would say, I usually have carrots with rice and fish. And she continues, I like seafood. And let's continue. For dinner, I eat, look at the table, cheese bread. So she says, for dinner, I eat a sandwich with cheese. And she continues, I love cheese. Great job. And now it's your turn to answer Activity 2 and fill in the table with the food you eat. And after that, you go to Activity 3 and write about your eating habits. And make sure you check your writing. Refer to this checklist. You need to check spelling, capitalization, punctuation, which is the use of full stops and commas, grammar. Make sure you use the present simple and you write about what you like or dislike. And make sure you write in a nice handwriting. Thank you. See you next lesson. Bye.